Welcome to today's video. This video is about why time feels faster as you get older. A question that almost everyone has wondered about at some point. Remember how endless summers seemed as a kid? Days seemed to stretch on forever. But now, weeks and months blur by in what feels like moments. So, what's happening? Is time actually speeding up? Or is it all in your mind? The main reason lies in how our brains process new experiences and memories. As we age, our brains encounter fewer novel situations, leading to fewer memories being formed. This is what often makes time seem to pass more quickly as we grow older. However, this is just one theory. Several other scientific theories exist that also attempt to unravel this mystery, such as attention-based theories that suggest our focus on events alters our perception of time or biological clock. Theories that explore how internal mechanisms like circadian rhythms influence our experience. These multiple perspectives highlight the complexity of this phenomenon and invite further curiosity. Let's explore the science behind this strange and profoundly human phenomenon. As children, every experience is new. Your brain is constantly processing unfamiliar sights, sounds, emotions, and challenges, building new connections and storing new memories. This flood of novelty makes time feel slower. Every moment is rich and packed with information. But as we grow older, our brains become more efficient. We've seen and done most of the daily things before: brushing your teeth, driving to work, cooking dinner, and that efficiency tricks your perception of time. Essentially, time feels faster as you get older because your brain is processing fewer new experiences. This shift often starts during adolescence and becomes more noticeable in adulthood. The more routine your life becomes, the fewer new memories your brain creates. Since our sense of time heavily depends on how many memories we form, fewer memories can make entire months feel like they flew by. This change usually happens gradually, allowing the process to sneak up on us without realizing it. To counter this, try introducing simple novelties into your routine, like tasting a new type of food, taking a different route to work, or exploring a new hobby. You can also consider calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, rearranging your furniture, or listening to music from a genre you don't explore. These small changes can enrich your memory formation and help slow down your perception of time. Psychologists call this the proportional theory of time perception. Imagine your life as a pie. When you're 10 years old, 1 year is like a big slice, a significant 10% chunk, making it feel substantial. By the time you hit 40, that same year is just a small slice, only 2.5% of the pie, making it feel less significant and faster. Your mind isn't measuring time with a clock, but with the lifetime you've lived. As you add more years to your life pie, each new year feels smaller and faster. At the same time, this explains part of the feeling. Not all theories agree. For example, some attention-based theories propose that our sense of time depends on how much we focus on events. The more we concentrate, the slower time seems to tick because our brain notices more details and creates more memories in those moments. Additionally, biological clock theories explore how our internal mechanisms, like circadian rhythms, might affect how we perceive the passage of time. You might notice this in your own life, when you find yourself more alert during the day and sleepy at night, a pattern influenced by your circadian rhythm. Culturally, some societies perceive time as cyclical rather than linear, which influences their experience of its passage. For example, in many indigenous cultures, such as the Maya, time is viewed as a series of repeating cycles, reflecting their agricultural calendar and seasonal changes. This cyclical view can impact daily life by aligning activities more closely with natural rhythms, like planting and harvesting seasons, which can provide a sense of continuity and tradition. In contrast, Western cultures often view time as linear and segmented, influencing work schedules to focus on productivity and deadlines, sometimes creating a more rushed and fragmented experience. Consider how we often repeat similar activities during weekdays and weekends, creating a routine cycle in our lives. Philosopher Henry Bergson proposed that our consciousness perceives time not through measurable segments, but as an ever-flowing duration. Imagine how a long, enjoyable day can seem to pass quickly in the moment, but feels extended when you reflect on it later. Moreover, studies like those conducted by Harvard University delve into various psychological aspects of time perception. Considering these diverse perspectives helps us appreciate the complexity of how humans experience time. There's also a neurological angle to this. The dopamine system in your brain, which is tied to novelty, motivation, and attention, becomes less active with age. This results in fewer moments that capture our attention intensely, which can extend the perception of time at that particular moment. When everything starts feeling familiar, the brain doesn't see the need to record as much detail, making time seem to vanish in hindsight. However, it's important to note that individual differences such as personality, lifestyle, and mental health can also influence how one experiences the passage of time. For example, stress, anxiety, or depression can significantly alter our perception of time, often making days drag on interminably or blur together, depending on the individual's state of mind. Think about someone with an adventurous lifestyle who constantly seeks new experiences and travels frequently. They often find that time seems to pass more slowly because they're continuously exposed to new stimuli, creating numerous memories. Conversely, a person with a more routine and predictable lifestyle might find that days blur together, as there are fewer novel experiences to differentiate one day from the next. These differences highlight how our activities and habits can impact the way we perceive time. Let's think about a typical vacation. When you first arrive somewhere new, everything is exciting. The smells, the sounds, the unfamiliar streets. You take mental notes constantly. The first few days feel long and full, but by the end of the trip, when your brain adjusts to the environment, time seems to accelerate. The same principle applies to life itself. Neuroscientists also suggest that our internal clock, located in areas like the basal ganglia and cerebellum, might slow down as we age. In other words, your brain's metronome ticks slightly slower, so actual time feels like it's racing past you. One significant study conducted by researchers at Duke University explored this idea more closely. The study involved measuring brain activity related to time perception in participants of different ages. A key finding was that older participants experienced a slower ticking metronome, leading them to perceive time as speeding up. This slowing process influences how we experience the passage of time and, combined with memory compression, creates the illusion that life itself is accelerating. But there's good news. You can slow down time, not literally, but perceptually, by doing what you did as a child. Seek novelty, stay curious, and pay attention. Studies show that when you learn a new skill, travel somewhere unfamiliar, or change your daily routine, you generate more memories, and time seems to expand again. You don't need monumental changes to make a difference. Try simple things like taking a new route to work, experimenting with a new recipe, or even starting a hobby you've never tried before. Living mindfully and embracing curiosity helps stretch your perception of time and keeps your brain young. For an easy start, consider changing your breakfast today. Try a new fruit or a different cereal. Listen to a song from a genre you're unfamiliar with. These ultra-simple, low-effort actions can encourage you to break your routine and see the world with fresh eyes. So, the next time you feel like the year just disappeared, remember, your brain was on autopilot. Break the routine, try something new, no matter how small. It might make your days feel longer and your life richer. Time may be constant, but how you experience it is not. Every second you spend fully aware, noticing, learning, exploring, slows the rush of life. Stay curious, because the more you notice, the more life you truly live. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more fascinating science facts, hit like and subscribe. Also, I'd love to hear from you. Share your own tips or stories about how you slow down time in the comments section. Engaging and sharing can build a stronger community, and you might inspire someone else with your insights. And if you want to see the full playlist, the link is in the description.